And around we go. I've got the turntable working. So let's check this out and so much more on this layout update. There's a lot to show you. So get comfortable, kick back, and here we go. As I said in the intro, there's a lot to show you. I've been quite busy over the last month on the layout. Even despite the nice weather and being able to enjoy some time outside, I still got quite a bit done. So we're going to start right here at the steel mill because I haven't done any work here. Nothing has changed except maybe a few of the trains have been moved around. Where the work has begun on the International Bridge again, because this is kind of where I left you off last time. So as you can see, I've added the railing, the entire length of the bridge. Okay. It took two different types of railing in order to have enough to complete this, because I pretty much bought out Train World. The first railing, this is a fence by Walthers, and that goes over all the bridge deck sections. And then the second type of fencing is by Lionel in their HO category, and I put that in all the arches. In the arches here, you can see I also painted the roadway and added the double yellow line. Here you can see how the two types of railing come together. I think it's pretty good. I think it's pretty close, and it's kind of an interesting detail because typically on a lot of bridges, the railing in the main span, which would be one of these arches, is sometimes different from the railing on the rest of the bridge. Okay. This railing I had to paint, this came painted, and they match up pretty good. I also had to make and install all the side girder work here. It's all made out of sheet styrene, and then some evergreen plastic strips. I'm just going to take a walk along the bridge, kind of show you what it looks like. Let's go on the other side. Looking good. One last peek from this direction. So the bridge work took about a week and a half to do all of that. After that I moved on and started working on Dow Chemical. So before, this building here was just a shell and the roof was just sitting loose on top. So I went ahead and finished that building. That's the processing center. These large propane or other style tanks were out here already, but they didn't have the piping and detail on them. So I added that and this little pump house. This tank here was not finished. I went ahead and added the railing and the different vents. and the little stairs over the berms that go around each tank. And then, last thing here is I added this chain link fence along the front. This is by Walther Master. It's very similar to their chain link fence kit, but all the sections are pre-made, which is really nice. I ran out right about here. And I do have part of a kit, Walther's chain link fence kit still, that I was using in other parts of the layout. I still have about half a kit left, and this is one of the pieces that I made because I ran out, so I'm going to have to make the fence that goes from here to the backdrop. The gate was part of the Scene Master kit as well. But yeah, they come pre-made sections. There's still a little bit of work and a little bit of a trick to putting them in, but a lot easier though than the full-on kit version. Looks pretty good. And I added the barbed wire along the top, just using some silver thread. Moving along to the grain elevator and grain bins and feed store. Okay, so before right here I had 2 coffee cans simply to represent these bins. Well, I finally was able to acquire these bins and went ahead and assembled those, the elevator, the grain dryer, and got this whole scene together in about a day. And then on the second day, put together the feed store, which again before was just a shell. And I added those little bags of grain and feed on the dock there, which helped bring the scene together a little more. And we have a train going by. While we're here in this corner, I've also expanded the wheat field. Before it stopped right about here. Now I've got it continuing on around all the way to here. Just a little bit more to go. Moving into Owasso, as I showed in the intro, I have the turntable working. I pulled the locomotive out from inside the shed. I have those tracks over there wired up. Put him on the turntable and swung it around here. These whisker tracks all have feeders on them, but they're not wired up, so I'm just storing the cars on it. That's actually where they're prototypically stored. As you see, I also painted up the Great Lakes Central shops that are back there. A nice GT locomotive in front. Also added the fueling station. I'll add a few other small structures in here as time goes on. But this sure does look good this way. Remember, these shops were just the Pike Stuff buildings. Just the shells were sitting here unpainted. And I also added this guardrail from Walther's Scene Master at the end of Howard Street, which is the prototypical name of this street here. And continuing on that street, right here, this was just bare pieces of plastic before. So I went ahead and cut those and painted those, and now the street has taken shape, and I've added the shoulders and some driveways for the trailers here. Added this tree and this really nice looking Cape Cod house. Here we have a row of hedges that separate the lawns and people's yards from another farm field. Yep, this one's going to be one that the farmer is tilling up. So I'll put some of the old dried dead vegetation ahead of him and some nice tilled soil behind him. And I'm thinking I'm going to try to put in a flock of seagulls, because that's just what you see behind a farmer when he's tilling up the land. So I think that'd be cool. And if you recall, you can kind of see remnants of it. There was a track, there was a turnout here and a track that went into the corner. Well, I've removed that. It no longer serves its purpose here, and that has moved somewhere else in the layout, which you'll see in a little bit. And I left some of the remnants here to show that in the past there might have been something there. But wait, there's more. So I finally painted and put together the rest of the station here, so now this looks a lot more like the Durand Union Station. And I added this nice fence along the front and down the side. And I also painted the roof here on this house, which is actually a scratch-built model of the house we're in. I finished up this little office building, which before was just the shell. Painted the roof, added the windows and doors, and put a little air conditioner on the roof. Also put an air conditioner here on the shop. So here in this corner is that track that I removed from that field. Okay, here's a turnout, and here's the track, because this is going to be where a cutout of the Henry Ford Museum is going to go. And in it is the Allegheny, number 1601. So I put some plexiglass up to protect it. Sorry, it's still a little dirty. I did wash it, but looks like it needs washed again. And next to that is a replica of the DeWitt Clinton, which again, you remember, we're in that far corner. So for now, this is going to be the floor of the Henry Ford Museum, but for now it's just going to be a deck, as if this was an outdoor display. So nothing through here, this go around anyway. But once we get up here near Tawas, there's some new stuff, starting with a septic tank truck. Okay. I finished the sidewalks and the curbs that are here in Tawas. The curbs came with the sidewalk, so that was kind of a bonus. These are the ones from the Walther Street system. Okay. And yes, they don't match the first batch of sidewalks I've put in, but that's fine, because in reality you're going to see many different types of sidewalks. So I was able to get them all along here. And through here, here's some of the curbing out here. And there's curb on each side of Oak Street. There you go. A little bit more sidewalk here. And also in the campground, I added a bunch of small trees and all the different campsites. Here in Alpena, more of the same with the sidewalks and the curbs. So most of the sidewalk is now complete. And I also added this tree in the park. I'll step back, kind of give you a better look. And it's looking pretty good. Out here, this is a cool thing, this lighthouse. Now the real lighthouse in Alpena is just a small red lighthouse, mainly just the top here, that stands on some steel structural legs. The residents call it Little Red. But when I opened up the kit and saw really how cool it is. I really love the tower. It's got a nice texture to it. It's pretty much all pre-made and pre-painted the way you see it, and most of it just press fits or snaps together. So I went ahead and built the whole lighthouse to represent both Little Red and many lighthouses that are in that area that look just like this. There's some to the south, there's some to the north, and there's one out in the bay. And yes, it does light up. I did test it, but I don't have it wired here on the layout. Well, that's going to be it for now. So a lot has changed. Well, thanks for watching, and until next time, everybody, take care, and bye for now.